Welcome back to Statistical Swinging, a production of the Untouchable podcast. Caden, were you ready for the last signature event of this PGA Tour season? This week is the Travelers Championship being held at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. It's a par 70 at only 6,844 yards, so a very short course as well. But before we do that, let's recap what happened last week for us at the U.S. Open. In total, we're down just shy of 1 unit, 4.8 point 8 units on the week, as Scotty obviously did not end up winning. Rahm didn't win either. He did sneak into the top 10 for us there at the end. Aaron Wright choked on Sunday to keep us out of the top 20 and top 30. Missed the top 30 by a shot. Sepp Straka had a bad week. He ended up missing the cut there at Oakmont. Cameron Young, our boy, not only finished inside the top 40 and top 30, finished tied fourth on the weekend. So a great tournament for Cameron Young. And Denny McCarthy at top 20. He made the cut. He was looking good. He was looking really good. And then kind of just blew it over the weekend. So in the end, we were down zero point 0.8 units. Nothing crazy. We're still up on these golf pods. But getting us into this week for the Travelers Championship, like I said, it's the last of the 8 signature events being held this year on the PGA Tour as we're winding down, getting closer and closer to the FedEx playoffs to round out this season. So yeah, for this course, like I said, it's only a 68.44 on the yardage for the course. So it's not like you need to be a big bomb or anything. You need to find ways to hit fairways, be good with your approach shots, and then be able to putt well. This is the course where we saw the only 58 in PGA Tour history. This is where Jim Furyk shot his 58 back in 2016. So you know there can be some low scoring here on this course. So starting it off for us, we have Akshay Bhatia, top 20 at plus 170 and top 10 at plus 400. We're stacking Akshay here as in the tournament last year, he finished tied fifth in the here. Finished tied fifth, so already has good results at this course under his belt. On top of that, this season, he is 14th on tour when it comes to strokes gained putting. At a course like this, you got to be rolling the flat stick well because there's a lot of short holes. You got to hit good approach shots, make your putts. Yeah, he's 14th in strokes gained putting. Not only that, he's third in this field of 72 players in conversion rate inside of 10 feet. You're not seeing Akshay miss much inside that 10-foot range. He's cashing that, limiting 2 putts, limiting mistakes there, so that's always good to see. And then he's fourth on tour as well this year on turning his green and regs into par breakers. So on an easier course like this, when Akshay's hitting the green, he's fourth on tour when it comes to cashing those, whether it be an eagle putt on a par 5 or draining these birdie putts as well. And then on top of that, to even build more onto what could help him not only with the putting is he's 25th on tour this year when it comes to stroke gain on approach shots. So we're seeing Akshay be able to hit it close to pins, and not only that, he's making putts as well. And while Akshay might not be one of the longest hitters on tour, that doesn't matter here. Like I said, where we got a short course, so all Akshay needs to do, find fairways, use that top 25 approach shot and that top 15 putting, and we could be in for a good week with Akshay Bhatia. Like I said, I have him top 20 at plus 170 and top 10 at plus 400. Next on my list, I have another short hitter on tour, and that's Brian Harman, one of the actual more shorter hitters when it comes to PGA Tour this year. But all he really needs to do is use those irons, driver, whatever, hit fairways. Because in his last, Brian Harman, I guess I didn't even say this, we have him top 20 at plus 175. And then I am throwing a flyer, throwing a little sprinkle on Harman to win this tournament at plus 7,500. I think those are good odds for him this week, as in his last 7 appearances at the Travelers Championship, he has 5 top 10s alone in this event, including a second back in 2023. And if we take it back to 2015 as well, he finished tight. He finished third in this tournament. So he has 6 top 10s in his career in this tournament, has a multiple top 5s in it as well. Not only that, he's 16th on tour this year in stroke gain putting. So right there around Akshay and being one of the better putters on tour. He's very good at hitting fairways as well. And then Going back to the putting with Harmon as well, he's 12th on tour this season on putts per round. So Harmon's hitting greens. He's making his putts, limiting any three putts, making sure it's either a two putter. He's cashing that thing. So if you're putting well, you can score well on this course. Yeah, we have Brian Harmon, top 20 at plus 175, and then to win at plus 7,500.
We interrupt this episode of the Untouchables podcast to tell you about Scratch Golf and Lounge in Westminster. Are you looking for a place to relax and hang with your friends while playing golf? Scratch Golf and Lounge is the premier indoor golf simulator, offering a wide variety of courses on 5 separate bays. Not only that, they offer a wide variety of local cocktails, beers, and wine, as well as some phenomenal small bites and snacks. So rain or shine, no matter the weather, there's a spot for you to fill in that golf itch at Scratch Golf and Lounge, located at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. That's Scratch Golf and Lounge at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. And now let's get back to the episode.
Next, we're going back to an old well that we've been through a couple times already throughout these episodes, and that's Sepp Straka. We have him top 10 at plus 240. Yes, he had a bad week for us last week at the U.S. Open. I don't care because Sepp Straka this year is the king of signature events. He has 2 wins on this season already, including one at the Truist Championship, which is a signature event. And then in the 7 signature events so far this season, he has 4 top 10s, 6 top 20s. His only non-top 20 in a signature event this year was a missed cut at the Genesis back in February. That was held at Torrey Pines, one of the tougher courses on tour. He's coming to an easier course this week, and on top of that, he's second on tour this season on birdie average, like per round. So one of the leaders in the field. Not only that, second on tour, so one of just the leaders on the entire tour when it comes to making birdies. And then on top of that, he's third on tour when it comes to stroke gains, tee to green. So expect another big week here out of Sepp Straka. I think we talked about it back at Muirfield when we had him top 10 and to win. He finished tied to third for us that week because Sepp Straka, he owns signature events and he's playing the best golf of his life this year. I know he had a bad week last week. We don't care about that because when signature events come around, Sepp Straka shows up. And just like Sepp, we're going back to another well with our next player. This guy we've gone to now. This is going to be the third consecutive week we're going to be using him, and that is Cameron Young, our boy. We have him top 20 at plus 130. We also have him top 10 at plus 330. We're going up with him. Last week, top 40, top 30. A couple weeks ago, we only had him top 20. But we're going up with Cameron Young because he's playing some of his best golf right now, where he has back-to-back top 5 finishes on tour. That included that RBC Canadian Open, and then just last week at the U.S. Open when he finished tied fourth at Oakmont, playing some amazing golf there. So he's really rounding into form as well. Not only that, at this tournament just last year, Cameron Young shot a 59. He broke 60 here last year, so he knows how to play here well, how to score here. We're hoping he can capture some of that same form he found there last year when he shot that 59, spread it throughout the week, give us a good finish. Not only that, we were talking up how good Akshay and Brian Harmon are at putting. This year, Cameron Young is 10th on the tour when it comes to strokes gained putting. So he's also one of the best putters on tour this year. And you guys can't notice the trend here on a short course like this. You got to be rolling the flat sticks. That's when these scores start piling up, birdies start piling up, and you can go really low. So yeah, Cameron Young, not only is he shot at 59 here, he's 10th on tour this season in strokes gained putting. So we have him top 20 at plus 130 and top 10 at plus 330. Then the last golfer we do have this week is a top 20 finish, and that is for Kevin Yu. We have him top 20 at plus 225. In Yu's last 4 starts, he has 2 top 5s as well. That includes a third place finish at the RBC Canadian Open just 2 weeks ago. So he's playing some very good golf right now. And like we were talking about with Akshay, how he's fourth on tour this season when it comes to turning greens and regs into par breakers. Kevin Yu is 25th on tour this season in turning greens and regs into par breakers. Not only that, he's 16th on tour this season when it comes to hitting greens and regs. That right there, that coincides very well in my eyes, where If you're hitting a lot of greens and you're one of the best on tour and turning those into par breakers, that means you have a good chance to shoot low this week. And another thing that I think could help Kevin Yu as well this week is he's one of 9 players in this field who did not compete last week at Oakmont at the U.S. Open. Didn't have to go through that grueling golf tournament where we saw the crazy rough, everyone getting angry, Sam Burns not getting relief. And I know that has nothing to do with it, but Sam Burns 100% should have gotten relief there. I don't know how 2 different rules officials didn't say so. There was a lot of water right there. He definitely should have been able to move his ball, but that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Kevin Yu didn't have to go through any of that stuff last week. Did not just got to sit in his couch and watch the tournament, which I mean, he definitely wishes he was playing, but he didn't have to go through Oakmont. Had a week's rest. His last start was that third place finish at the RBC Canadian Open at the TPC Osprey in Toronto. So now you're seeing him come back, signature event here at TPC River Highlands in Connecticut, and I think we could be in store for a big week of Kevin Yu. Now looking at this, my favorite play of the week is interesting because I really like a lot of these. I mean, I like all of them, or I wouldn't be giving them out. But my favorite play this week, it's I got to go to back to my boy Cameron Young. My favorite play is him top 20 at plus 130. Getting him at plus money right now to finish inside the top 20 in a field of only 72 players. With the way he's playing right now, I think is ideal. He's playing some of his best golf right now, like I said, back-to-back top 5 finishes, including at Oakmont last year. So he's really playing some top-tier golf for us right now. So Cameron Young, top 20 at plus 130, that is my favorite play of the week. My lock of the week is Cameron Young right there. But before we go, let's go through again all of the bets we do have for this week's tournament of the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. Once again, it's a par 70 at only 6,844 yards. And with that, we have Akshay Bhatia, top 20 at plus 170 and top 10 at plus 400. We have Brian Harmon, top 20 at plus 175. And then we're throwing a flyer on him to win at plus 7,500. Then we have Sepp Straka, top 10 at plus 240. Cameron Young, top 20 at plus 130 and top 10 at plus 330. And Kevin Yu, top 20 at plus 225. I really like all these. I think we should be in store for another very exciting week of golf. Definitely a very different week of golf than we saw last week, with the winning score being at 1 under par. Scotty won this tournament last year at 22 under, him and Tom Kim in a playoff. So expect some low scores this week. Expect people to be flirting with 59, some very low 60s rounds throughout the week. This could be a very electric, low-scoring golf tournament. Well, if you guys did enjoy this week's episode of Statistical Swinging, make sure you leave a like down below. Leave a comment. Who do you like in this week's tournament? Who do you think is going to come out on top? Does Brian Harmon have a chance? I think so, but do you? Who's your favorite play this week as well? Turn on post notifications to never miss an upload of Statistical Swinging or the Untouchables podcast. Just had an interview come out the other day with former UFC fighter and legend of the pod, Jay Perrin. So if you guys haven't checked that out already, make sure you do as well. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.